There's a real need for the majority of medical schools to do a better job at admitting individuals of color who provide special services to our patient in an unmet way. And so the HBSUs have been doing that, those medical schools, but there's a need for the majority of medical schools in California and across the country to address the deficit that we see. It's clear that not just black physicians can take care of black patients, but they do it in a different way very often, and there's a huge shortfall.
African American physicians and Latino physicians, so usually physicians of color, are much more likely to actually provide service in low income and medically underserved communities. And that's just a fact. And I think if we go around, many of us, as a surprise, again, I don't think some of our colleagues realize that we do that purposely, right? It's not that we could not provide care in other communities, because many of us do, but it's because many of us went into medicine to provide care in those communities.
I'm a medical student at UCLA. I'm in the Charles Drew program, so I'm in this awkward space where I work a lot and my interest is working with underserved communities, but I'm learning in the Upper West Side of Los Angeles. I don't really get exposed as often to the community that I want to work with. Just yesterday I was rotating through UCLA with a pediatrics ward with a Latino patient, but just the expectation of what I was supposed to do and how I was supposed to perform because I was at UCLA and because I was working in the hospital, I just didn't feel like there was the same ability to mess up. And because medicine is ever evolving, ever changing, and there's always stuff to be learned, being in a situation where I don't feel like it's for my learning, it really is to serve somebody else, it's really great to be able to go to an office like that where I'm learning a lot, but the expectation is not for my performance, the expectation is for my learning.
If our present Searing Journey is within the status quo, what should we do with regards to make a change?
The title for tonight's program is the Searing Journey, and that's one that I've been on for quite some time. I recently graduated from med school outside of the country, and obtaining residency has been quite a challenge. But the desire to be of service is still there. The fire is still there. And so in order to tap into individuals like myself that still want to practice, that still want to be helpful, I think one of the things we can do is look outside the traditional. Okay, you went to a U.S. school, you did your clinicals and the steps and the traditional steps that we use to find candidates, and look at students like me that are out there and want to be of service.
Diversity does not equal understanding. So we can increase the numbers dramatically, but that doesn't change understanding what the other person, what their life is like. So how do we bridge that gap? What are some things you guys have suggested?
I mean, they've come through as residents, but none of them have stayed in the community. And to me, that's a huge, what's going on? Why do I feel like the sore thumb sticking out in 2016 where you see so much diversity? And there's just not enough people that look like me in the community.
Okay, hi everyone, I'm Kelly Butler. I'm a second-year medical student at UC Irvine. You can't teach someone how to be kind. You can't teach someone how to be sympathetic. What does work, though, is education about the individual communities.
I currently serve as the Ethnic Minority Organization Section trustee for the California Medical Association, as well as the treasurer of LACMA. Hearing the stories, I wanted to confess that once upon a time I was a fugitive from medicine. You mentioned that you wanted to be able to figure out a way where people wouldn't get their paper and run away. I got my paper. I did a dual residency in internal medicine and psychiatry at the University of Virginia. And as soon as I got it, I ran away from medicine. the person that I had to become in order to complete the residency, when I looked myself in the mirror, I decided if that's the kind of person that I have to be to practice medicine, I do not want to practice medicine. Much of the experiences that we have as people of color in this country are deeply rooted in racism and the trauma associated with that and the connectivity to violence. Part of tonight's experience has been creating an environment where we could really talk about things that are very painful. And I thank LACMA for that, creating a safe place. One of the greatest values of LACMA and CMA has been this concept of voice. We are the voice. However, that voice tends to be heard more when we work together.